I helped take this beginner editor from zero, not making any money from his editing, to $5,500 a month. And we did that without doing constant revisions for clients. We actually did it without taking on any clients at all. We did it through building him digital products and then creating content around his products. When we started working together, he was a forklift driver here, and our goal was to take him to a full-time creator, which we now have. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the strategic 4-step plan we took to get him there. That's repeatable, and I made it that way you guys can follow along to prove it's not luck and show how we did everything. So getting started, we had a simple goal. We wanted to get Torsten from a forklift driver to a full-time creator. So to do that, we needed to get him $5,000. But he was already working a job he wasn't really passionate about, so we wanted to strategically make $5,000. We didn't want to build him another job by having to work with clients and doing work he wasn't going to enjoy. So we focused on getting that 5K all through digital products. That way he can focus on creating content that he loves and get paid to do so. And lastly, our goal was to build a personal brand that generates predictable cash. That way he doesn't have to go back and work at that forklift job. We can make month over month growth, and that's what we did, and that's what I'll show in this video. That way he can feel confident creating and getting paid. So in this video, I'm gonna go through the exact 4 steps that we took to get there and why we took those steps. And before we get into those 4 steps, this is me. I have done $1 million in digital product sale profit. I make about $25,000 every single month from my digital products. And more importantly, and the reason you probably are watching this video, is I mentor creatives and help them sell their digital products. That way they can go full-time like Torsten. So my students, all of them, they don't work for clients. Everyone here has a very strong personal brand that's built with intention, and they still manage to make $10,000 plus a month. And that's where we're gonna get Torsten, and I'm gonna even show you how we're gonna get him there in the next few months. So Torsten, a year ago, was a forklift driver. He was working 9 to 5. He had 0 following on social, and I actually found that out when I was making this video, because I texted him here. You can see, I said, yeah, how many subs did you have when we started working? And he said 0. And then also I kind of found out this, he was just like barely learning how to edit too at the time. Like he hadn't had crazy expertise. He was good, but he was just learning the process of it. So we had our work cut out for him. He had a full-time job working 40 hours a week. He had 0 following, and he was barely even that skilled at editing. So we needed to make a strategical plan, which we did. And that plan was able to get us to where Torsten is now. He, in the last month, made $5,500 a month, and he's been growing steadily every single month. On this month, he's on track to kind of blow that out of the water, and we'll show that in a second. But now he is a full-time creator. He has 6,800 subscribers on YouTube. I think around 4,500 on Instagram. So he doesn't have the largest following, but he's been able to grow his following and get paid to grow it every single month. And his following and his income has grown, and it's because of the plan we devised. He has a fully automated cash flow system that these 4 steps go over and show you how to build. And every single month has been his biggest month, and his following has continued to grow. Pretty amazing. So I'll just show you some of those receipts. Torsten started his journey here July 1st of 2024. He joined Creator Pass, and then in September of 2024, he started working with me a little closer one-on-one. So you can see even in his first month, he made a sale. His second month, he made a few different sales. And then his third month kind of went back down because we needed to take a strategic plan to approach. And you can see a lot happened from September to November, where he went and got $944 in sales. The next month, as we were still building, a little bit down. And then every single month since then has been a green month. So you can see 1,300 in January, 2,000 in February, 2,800 in March, 4,300 in April, and then last month, 5,500 in May. And this month, just a few days into the month, he's already seen 92% growth. So this month is on track to get close to doubling his last month. So that could potentially be the 10K month this month. And if not, it's gonna happen soon because we've put in our 4-step plan that is going to scale him predictably. So you can see how he went from 0 following and month over month continued to grow. And we had a few simple rules that we had to follow going through this process. That way we don't go off track. We needed to make all his income through digital products, which we've done. Every single video that he posted he needed to grow and also get paid, which we'll break down. And most importantly, enjoy the process. All of my students have really simple goals. They're just not so easy. We want to build a business that we love, that generates cash flow every single month, and we want to build our personal brand. That way we have this asset that generates us money and continues to grow month over month. So because it's not simple, we tried to make these steps as simple as possible, and we broke it down into 4 steps on how we did it. And the reason I highlighted we is because I gave Torsten the direction and he implemented. It was a team system. He was able to trust me and my vision and point him in the right direction, and he took action and got the results. So the 4 steps are creating a product and an offer. Then we moved on to content, focused on our conversion. And then lastly, we just recently started ramping this up, but and it has proven very, very good for us. So first and foremost, we started off with our product and offer. What we wanted to do is make the product look sexy. You probably heard a few people call it packaging. It's basically the way you present your digital product to someone, how you present what they're going to be getting. And you want to make that sexy because what we want to build is a product that people want to buy. Nothing's worse than trying to get someone to buy something that they don't want. And you do that by packaging it. And he already had a product up and running from the group. So we just went through and devised a plan to make it more sexy. So he had 3 primary products that we actually bundled up and renamed and repriced everything, because the issue I see a lot of creatives that are building digital products run into is they actually have a really great product. They're just not good at showing people how good it is. So he had some really bland names on his products. The product images, the way he talked about it just wasn't the best. So we went ahead and renamed, repackaged, and bundled it up. That way we can increase average order value and get him to his 5K goal quicker. So we landed on the short form retention bundle as the name for everything else. And he had 3 primary products inside that: the short form retention timelines, text and logo animations, and retention sound effects and presets. And you can see it is more targeted to short form editors because that's what his expertise was in. So we had to find alignment there. During that process, we also optimized the pricing, because at the end of the day, if you don't charge enough, you're not gonna make any money. And if you charge too much, no one's gonna buy. So we had to find the sweet spot for him. And I think it's different for every kind of product. And we just track these numbers throughout the whole time. That way we can optimize and make more money month over month. And then lastly, to make that product sexy, we had to make some website content that showcased his product and his offer in a really clean and concise way. We didn't want to scare away any buyers, so we went through and made some stuff that people actually wanted to see. So after going through all that, now we have a product people actually want to buy. It's important. If you have something no one wants, you're not going to make much money. So that was first and foremost our foundation, what we had to build everything upon. Then moving on to this is the thing I think actually a lot of creatives are good at, but maybe the alignment isn't fully there. Content. Content is the lifeblood of the personal brand digital product business. You need content to make sales. So we focused on aligning the content with his product. And this is something that's really important, because if you don't properly do this, you're either gonna not generate sales, or if you're just making content for the product but don't care about how you feel about it, you're gonna trap yourself in creating content you don't like. So Torsten and I discussed this, and he likes helping and educating people. So he landed on some tutorial-based content, but that is not the only type of content that works. It's important to align the content with the stuff that you like. The next thing we focused on was getting people to watch. Because Torsten was a beginner when we started, he didn't really understand how to make a video that people wanted to watch. He didn't understand title and thumbnail. So we worked through all of that, and that was a process. And it's still something that we work on to this day, but now he has a lot more repeatable title, thumbnail format of a video that he can go ahead and make, and he knows he'll get eyeballs on it. You can see here, we have kind of nailed down a few different formats for long form and short form. Short form here, he has some talking head videos, some before and after stuff with some really great engagement. And then also his long form now has also started to grow. You can see he's posted 3 or 4 videos in the last 2 weeks, and he's predictably getting thousands of views on his video, which may not seem like a lot, but to generate sales, and if you're creating content in alignment with your product, that's all you really need. You don't need tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views to make a substantial income on social media. So after people started to watch the videos, we had to focus on getting people over to the website. Just because someone's watching this video and it's getting 1,000 views doesn't mean anyone's gonna go to the description and click. So we had to optimize the content for getting people to go and click the link in the description. So that entailed the way he talks about his products in his videos, the way he positions himself as an authoritative figure in his content. And then once we started to get people over to the website, we needed to make sure that it was repeatable. So like I said, we now have these formats that, we're always playing around with new stuff, but we have these tried and true formats that he can go and create, that he knows he can get people over to his website time in and time again. So now we have a predictable content strategy. This might be the most important step, honestly, because without all of this, it kind of all crumbles down. If you don't understand product and offer and pricing, you're probably not gonna make that much money, but if you understood content, you could probably get people over to make some sales. But the reason I went in this order is because now that we have people over to the site, we're going to be making money from day one. And then moving on to conversion. So now we have a great product and offer. We have people going to the site consistently. Now we have data to optimize the website to make sure that we capture as many people over on the website and actually generate sales. So we had to go through and optimize his website. And what that looks like is simple copy. So the words that are on the website, product videos, simplifying the website in a way where people are inspired to buy instead of just clicking around and doing nothing. It's a thing a lot of people struggle with. We also, as funny as it sounds, had to optimize the way he was talking about stuff in his video. That way he can get people over to the site and actually be inspired to buy. It's not something a lot of people think about, but even just the way you speak about your product can stop people from actually buying. And then lastly, we went through and just automated everything. So all of the downloads as soon as someone buys are instantly sent to them. They have follow-ups. If people add something to the cart and don't buy, they're emailed. That way they don't forget. It's the stuff that is kind of boring to talk about, but actually leads to a lot higher conversion rate. We now have an optimized cash flow machine. So with these three things, he was pretty much able to get to his 5K a month goal with these three things right here. We just recently turned on ads, and this is how we're going to get to 10K a month. So our goal with ads is to just make a predictable way to make more money. Sometimes organic content doesn't hit. We have a pretty good formula, but ads is a very consistent way of getting in front of people. And when you can do that and you have a great product and offer, a great website that's optimized for conversion and already good content, you're going to make money with ads. It's very direct. So we wanted to scale our winning product. And for him, really great because the winning product is also a highly priced product. It's $157. So we wanted to scale that winning product and find winning creative. And luckily enough, because of the steps we took, we already understood what kind of content converts. And if you go to skip right to ads, if you skip content, you're probably not gonna convert well. And even if you skip conversion, you're probably not gonna convert well. I see a lot of people when they first join and start getting mentored by me, they instantly wanna hop to ads and they think it's the magic solution. But in reality, if you don't have your product, your content, and your conversion dialed, you're not gonna be able to make any money with ads. So we did all of that and we focused on profitability. In my opinion, that's the name of the game with digital products and personal branding. There's no reason you should be investing a bunch of money and not getting it back. With our ads, we've just turned them on recently. And if you're not familiar with ads, so this month so far, June 1st through the 6th, he spent $230 and got $1,092 back. So a pretty good profit there. He's been able to get 14 total sales from that and an average of 4.75 ROAS. If you're not familiar with what ROAS is, it's basically for every dollar you hand Facebook, they'll hand you back whatever that number is. So for every $1 that we're handing Facebook right now, Torsten is receiving $4.75 back. It's a pretty good return. Anything over 2 in the digital product space is extremely profitable. So while we're not spending a whole bunch right now, it's really good to see that number high. So now we have a predictable way to print money. Because we had all of these things in line, we aligned the product and offer first, the content. We nailed conversion. When we started turning on ads, we have a predictable way to literally just print money out of thin air. So now how can you implement this? Because I want you to be able to go through and do those 4 steps. Hopefully you have learned something and you have a direction. First and foremost, align your skill with your content. I think that's the most important thing. What I teach and what I help my students do is take the skills that they love doing and turning it into a way to predictably create cash and actually enjoy the process. So if you're not enjoying it from day one, you're not gonna enjoy it when it starts making money. We wanna enjoy it from the beginning. And with that, you wanna grow an audience around your passion, because what you're gonna do when you're doing that is attract like-minded people, people that think the way you think, like the things you do. So that way, in 5 years, when you might not wanna make the exact content you make anymore, you can still have an audience that likes and respects you and will support you on your journey. We're building this asset, that's the personal brand, and we're funding it by selling our digital products and creating cash flow and making a bunch of money here. But what the real thing that a lot of people don't think about is the personal brand you're building in the meantime that's gonna pay dividends 5, 10 years from now. So align your skill with your content, grow an audience around your passion, but then build a product people actually want in that field. Because if you build something no one wants, it doesn't matter how great your content is. You might get a sale here or there. You won't be able to scale it like we have here in this video. And then you want to go through and automate your sales process. So just know that if you create content, everything's running on the autopilot. You create content, you talk about your product maybe, and from that, people will go and buy. You don't have to hit up people, you don't have to hop on a call, you don't have to do any of that. You just create content and focus on doing what you love, and in return, you will make money. And it's not something that's super easy to set up, but it is quite simple. And if you want mentorship on how to do any of this, DM me the word apply on Instagram at Brian Delmata, and we'll see if we're a good fit. I keep Creator Pass, my community, with course content and calls very tight knit because I want to get people results. And I keep my one-on-one students even more tight knit. So if you think you want to do this and you feel like you're a good fit, DM me the word apply. I'm not always accepting new members. Most months I only accept a handful of people. Last month, I literally accepted 0 and just focused on getting people results. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like on this video and go follow me on Instagram. It's where I post a lot of my student success and a lot of gems there. And that way you don't miss out on valuable videos like this. I always talk about my videos that I put a lot of time and effort into, like these ones on Instagram. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Peace.